fans, hola chicos, it's Richard. So, the issue of tourist travel still rages on. Will the Brits be able to fly back to Spain on holiday again this year? Do they want to come? And will they be welcome when they get here? Emotions, including mine, are certainly still running high. Confusion still reigns. Understandably, many thousands of us are at the end of their tether, missing Spain, missing the rest of Europe, the sun, the lovely beaches, the sangria, the warm welcome. I think everyone just wants to know when they can fly again and that it's not going to bankrupt them to do so. There's certainly been some changes since our last video, which incidentally, views on this absolutely orbited, again, understandably so, and the comments and the commentary still going on at this moment, so if you haven't had a chance to have a look at that, please do. The changes, loads of them in place, timetables have been laid out, but yet again, it's as clear as mud. I think very quickly, I'll stick to the salient points on that. How do we stand at present with, entertaining now, getting back to Spain for a lovely holiday, or to France or Portugal? Well, as I can see it, it's as follows. I'm going to look at it, this is purely from a tourism point of view, a recreational point of view, as opposed to people that are coming over wanting to look at houses possibly to buy, or to come over here to take care of their second homes that they already own. On the UK side now, the date has been set, May the 17th, and there's no reason to believe that that date won't be met. But I think that, what is politicians and governments on both sides of the fence in putting these plans and outlining them have left themselves extremely big escape hatches. So on the UK side, 17th of May, yes, flights will resume, but it could equally be that could be cancelled at the last moment, and again that it could run for a few days, a week, and then all of a sudden there's a spike, South African variant, whatever the reason, and it'll all be back to square one. They're operating a system that's become known as the traffic light system, green, amber and red. So again, even on that issue there, it's not been clarified at the moment, and I don't think it will be until May, what countries are going to be allocated into which zones, and whichever zone a country is in, that will have serious repercussions as to what will happen if you visit that country for a nice holiday, in terms of when you fly back to the UK. Two schools of thought on this: green zone countries. It's understood that there's going to be very few who actually make it into the green zone. Portugal's been mentioned, Gibraltar, even the United Arab Emirates. But then if you listen to EasyJet, they're putting out the news that they're very confident that the whole of Europe are going to make it into the green zone. Don't believe it, I'm afraid. I think they just want to sell airline tickets. If the country that you wish to visit, and I think there's a very high chance that Spain is going to be in the red zone, certainly to begin with, if it is in the red zone, then basically you will come and have a lovely holiday, perhaps a week over here in Spain, enjoy the sunshine. Then the problems start when you get back, because where it stands at the moment, as I understand it, you will fly back into the UK, you will have to isolate for 10 days in your home, in your residence. If you haven't got a residence in the UK, then you'll have to isolate in one of the government approved hotels, which is going to be extortionately expensive. During that 10-day isolation, you will have to undertake 3 PCR tests. Again, the costs of these are astronomical. So for a family of 4, 3 PCR tests, let's say you can get them for 100 quid each. You're looking at 1,200 quid just for the PCR test to fly back into your country during the isolation period. Not to mention the 10 days extra holiday you've got to allocate, and the income that you're going to lose, maybe not being able to work during that period. So absolutely wonderful, because I think it safely renders, which don't kid me that Boris and the government over there are not aware of this, it absolutely renders it out of reach for many people to even entertain flying to any country that's going to be allocated in the red zone. On the Spanish side, and I'll only talk about Spain rather than the other European countries, I think that the date, as we mentioned in our last video, was set for originally the 30th of March. It was then extended to the 30th of April. And then what they're saying is that you will just have to come in with a negative PCR test, and then you will be able to travel freely around Spain and go to your holiday destination and enjoy a fantastic holiday. So in other words, no need for isolation. That seems a lot more workable. But then the next thing is, Is that date of the 30th of April realistic? We've been back out again on the street. We've spoken to some fantastic, very wonderful Spanish people, average people, workers, perhaps a small business owner, and alongside of them we've also on this occasion spoken to a number of expats who are lucky enough to be living in Spain, in Almeria in this instance, and asked them two questions. One, is the 30th of April you think a realistic date for tourism to continue and for tourists to be able to come back to Spain, not just from Brits, from the UK, but also for Belgians, for French people, for Germans. The second question was the one we asked before. Are the tourists being missed in Spain, and will they be welcome? Again, I think you'll find that unanimously the answer is yes. So please enjoy these next series of interviews, and then feel free, as you did before, to give us a comment. We very much like to know your thoughts. Last time, I must admit, a lot of the comments were hijacked by the Brexiteers and then being opposed by the Remainers and everything. And some of them, to be quite honest, were very, very negative, boycotting Europe. We'll never come to Spain or Portugal or anywhere else in Europe again on our holidays because we've been misrepresented, we've been let down. Quite knows by who, I'm not sure. I'm sure this is the responsibility of the respective governments who are putting this in this bloody awful position. But I'll leave that to you.
Buenas, me llamo Juan y estamos en La Pinta.
Hi, my name's Juan and we're in La Pinta.
Bueno, esperamos que el 30 de abril abran la frontera y os esperamos aquí con unos abrazos muy grandes y que vengáis todos a disfrutar.
Yeah, we really hope that the borders will be open on the 30th and we're waiting with our arms very wide open.
Os esperamos, que sois muy bienvenidos aquí, que no tengáis problema ninguno y ya está, que os esperamos un agrado aquí.
Yes, we're more than ready for the tourists to come back. Our arms are more than wide open and we're waiting for you.
Yo creo que no.
No, I really don't think the borders will be opening again on the 30th.
Yo creo que sí, pero a lo mejor no, por el tema del COVID, de extranjeros que vengan aquí, no, a lo mejor sí, a lo mejor no, yo creo que no.
I hope they will be, but possibly with all this stuff with COVID, people might be a bit more careful about how they receive foreign people now.
Realísticamente a mí me parece que es muy temprano que venga el turismo en abril, pero eso es mi opinión personal.
My personal opinion is that I think the 30th is a bit soon and I don't think it's going to happen.
Cuando el turismo vuelva aquí a España, España siempre ha recibido a la gente inglesa muy bien, tienen muchos habitantes ingleses aquí y los van a recibir muy bien.
When the English do come back to Spain, they will be very well received as they've always been here and they're very welcome.
I don't think realistically that the tourists will be coming back on that date, purely because the South African variant is taking hold, and I don't think we've had that here properly yet, so I'll be very surprised if they stick to that date. I would welcome them back because living here, all the businesses, bars need to make a living, and as long as people have had all the appropriate jabs and taken all the tests, I can't see why they shouldn't come back.
Me parece bien que abran las fronteras, sobre todo porque aquí en España vivimos en gran parte del turismo, siempre y cuando las personas vengan vacunadas y se respete lo que se les usa.
Yes, I think it's a really good idea to open the borders again, as long as everyone who's coming respects the laws and the rules that have been put into place, as long as they've had their vaccinations and have the tests done.
Sí, van a ser bienvenidos porque aquí en España siempre se ha recibido bien el turismo a toda persona que haya querido venir aquí.
Yes, they'll be very welcome, of course they will, they always have been and they always will.
Do I think tourists will be welcome back in Spain? Absolutely, with open arms. Bars, restaurants, and not just the bars and restaurants, the people that live here. We like to see the tourists. I love to see the beaches packed in Oaxaca. I love it when there's traffic, when there's a vibe about the place. So yeah, people really want to see the tourists back. Do I think that 30th of April is achievable? Well, it may be in the UK. I'm not too sure about Spain. Those decisions are way above my pay grade.
Bueno, creo que no va a ser posible, porque ya estamos todos viendo en televisión los medios informativos de que lo que está pasando tanto en Alemania como en Francia y ahora aquí. O sea, para mí creo que es imposible que el día 30 esté abierta la frontera.
I think it's basically impossible. We're seeing on the TV what's going on now in Germany and in other countries, and I just really don't think it's going to happen on the 30th of this month.
Pues por supuesto que va a ser bienvenido, además estamos todos deseando de que empiecen a venir aquí con las manos y con los brazos esperando, porque es nuestro medio de vida y nuestro sustento. El turismo inglés supone casi el 80% de lo que se mueve en esta zona.
We're more than excited about when the tourists do come back. The English people here, we've got our hands and arms open waiting for them to come back. About 80% of our business here is based on them.
Yo soy el propietario de Joyland, estamos aquí en el puerto deportivo de Garrucha. I don't know about the boundaries, but for the good of all the businesses around, we expect that the boundaries are open by that time. I mean, absolutely. I mean, we expect every other tourist to come over here. We definitely welcome them, all of them, no matter where they come from. Absolutely.
Hola, mi nombre es Sofía. La pregunta a responder es que me parecería muy bien que abrieran las fronteras el día 30 de abril, pero lo veo difícil debido a que todavía no hay mucha gente vacunada y demás. Igualmente esperamos que se puedan abrir y podamos tener más turismo este verano y la cosa vaya muy bien.
Sophia, and the question to answer here is whether or not I think the borders should reopen on the 30th of April. It's a difficult question as lots of people still haven't been vaccinated. However, I would love for everybody to be able to come back to Spain, and it would be great for the tourism. We need this for the hospitality department, and I really hope that we can all collaborate together and we can all enjoy this luxurious summer all as one.
So there we have it again, guys. I think, you know, we've interviewed and spoke to a lot of people. A lot of them as well, sadly, wouldn't agree to be filmed and maybe wanted to keep their identities anonymous. Not surprising after you saw what happened with the reactions maybe on the last video. But again, I don't know why these reactions were there, because it's very, very clear the Spanish people certainly are missing the Brit tourists, missing the other European tourists. They very much appreciate what a valuable contribution to the economy tourism makes. They're missing you coming to Spain, and you will be very, very welcome as soon as you can come back. And I think it's also important to add before we finish, it's not just about missing the tourist money. A lot of the people that we spoke to said, you know, the whole vibe of a particular town, the whole atmosphere in the town has been drastically changed. You know, wonderful, very, very popular areas where, you know, it's always difficult to find a parking space or find that space on the beach. They are all as dead as dodos, like ghost towns, and it's just not a very nice environment. So as soon as the tourists can come back, they bring the life, they bring the vibrancy. It's not just about the money, guys. So if you've enjoyed, please do subscribe, give us a like, it would be so much appreciated, and as always, make a comment and we'll try our best to come back to you. Hasta pronto.